abusive language, anger, stubborn arguments, and disrespect towards other people's opinions. Since God is known as the friend of the humble, pride and ego separate us from Him. How pride can engulf a person and bring him down can be learned from the life of King Nahusha, the son of Ayu, a Chandravanshi king and the ancestor of the great Pandavas. Nahusha acquired all his knowledge of Vedas and Shastras from sage Vasishtha at a very young age. Nahusha had ruled well and had performed 100 Ashwamedha Yagyas. His fame had spread worldwide, and the heavens and other people were in awe of him. Once, Indra, the king of Swarga, went into hiding for the sheer shame of the sin he had committed with Ahilya. To know the story about Indra and Ahilya, watch the video linked in the comments below. His disappearance caused the gods and the rishis great distress, for a place without a king or a council of state to govern them cannot prosper. So the devas and the rishis searched for Indra's replacement everywhere and finally inclined in the favor of Nahusha. Thus, they went to him and offered him the crown of Swarga. First, Nahusha rejected the offer out of humility. He said, "Forgive me, I cannot be your king. How can I protect the divine devas? It is impossible." But all the devas and rishis insisted, "O king, do not hesitate. Once anointed as the Indra, all the merit and potency of our penance will be yours, and will be an addition to your strength. The power and the energy of everyone you set your eyes on shall be transferred to you, and you will be invincible." After this assurance, Nahusha agreed to become the king of Swarga. At first, Nahusha performed well, assisted by the merit and fame he earned while he was a king on earth. However, all the power and opulence of Swarga soon made him arrogant. He lost his humility and became filled with unlawful desires. Nahusha indulged freely in the pleasures of heaven and gave himself up to the untamed and lustful thoughts. One day, he saw Indra's wife, Devi Sachi, and became smitten by her beauty. To know more about the story of Indra and Sachi, watch the video linked in the comments below. Possessed by lust, he commanded the Devas to bring Sachi to him as he wished to take her as his wife. When Sachi learned of Nahusha's order, she became furious and fearful. Helpless, she went to Devaguru Brihaspati and asked for protection. Brihaspati, in return, offered her shelter in his home, which infuriated Nahusha, and his displeasure frightened the Devas. They tried to fill some sense into Nahusha's head by advising him not to swerve from the path of dharma and righteousness, as Sachi was someone else's wife. However, Nahusha was in no mood to listen. He counterattacked the Devas by asking them, "When Indra lusted for Ahalya, where were your principles on righteousness and good conduct? Why did you not prevent him then, and why do you stop me now?" When nothing seemed to be working, Brihaspati hatched a plan. Taking the hint from the sage, Devi Sachi went to Nahusha's palace. There, she said, "O mighty king of the gods, before I become your wife, I have a request to make. I wish you to come majestically to my house in a grander style than the Lord Vishnu or Shiva. Let the 7 rishis, also known as the Saptarishis, bear your palanquin." Nahusha, already riding high in his pride, instantly fell into the trap. He thought, "What a grand idea! The 7 great rishis should carry me. Your wish shall be fulfilled." The 7 rishis carried him in a palanquin on the dreadful day of Nahusha's supposed wedding. Engulfed in lust, Nahusha was impatient to reach Sachi's palace. So he began goading the rishis to go faster, and out of mad wickedness kicked the pious sage Agastya, saying, "Sarpa, Sarpa." Sanskrit has 2 meanings of Sarpa. One is to move and the other is serpent. Nahusha's madness had reached its culmination. His cup of iniquity was packed to the brim. Thus, an angry sage Agastya cried out loud, "O wicked Nahusha, you out of your pride have made us the rishis bear your palanquin. On top of it, you are also provoking us by your disrespectful misbehavior constantly. I curse you here and now that thou shalt fall from the heaven and become a sarpa on earth." Immediately, Nahusha fell headlong from heaven and became a python in the jungle. There, he had to wait for several thousands of years for deliverance. Nahusha, as a serpent, continued to live a virtuous life despite his circumstances. He sought the guidance of sages and performed penance to atone for his past arrogance. His unwavering dedication to righteousness earned him the opportunity for redemption. Eventually, Nahusha's virtue and penance were recognized by the Devas. They agreed to lift the curse, and Nahusha was restored to his original form. In the Mahabharata, when Pandavas were on their final journey in the Himalayas, Nahusha, in his serpent form, captures Bhima and decides to eat him. Despite Bhima's extraordinary strength, Nahusha was too powerful. Meanwhile, Yudhishthira was looking for Bhima. He found him and saw what was happening. Nahusha then reveals himself to be Yudhishthira's ancestor and tells him of his curse. Yudhishthira and Nahusha discourse with each other on their views of dharma. When Nahusha got his deliverance from the curse, he told Yudhishthira, "O righteous King Yudhishthira, the wealth and opulence fascinate even the most intelligent and brave man. I believe that everyone immersed in pleasure is disillusioned by it and subjected to their great fall as I did." Goswami Tulsidas Ji also said in Ramcharitmanas, "Never has a creature born in this world who doesn't get intoxicated with pride when exalted with power and opulence." Nahusha tells Yudhishthira of his mistakes and asks him to learn from them. Nahusha is relieved from his curse and goes to heaven. Bhima then receives his strength. The story of Nahusha proves that excessive fame and power lead to pride, and pride leads to the ultimate downfall. So one must always be conscious of one's surroundings and not allow pride to take over.
Готові посперечати, що ви